What I will be presenting today is podium times, or top 10 times over the last 30 years in Division III of the WIAA State Cross Country Race.
Middle one.
Middle one, that's one pressing.
Touch the screen, maybe it's not working.
Okay, so what we have here on the first two slides, we have, this is 2018 to 2004. As you can see, you look at some of these times, don't seem to be very far apart. A lot of them seem to be around the same. And as you continue here, you notice one difference. In 2001, you see the first time that gets under 17 minutes. Up until then, 17 minutes had not been broken as the 10th place time. So now organize, I know that's a lot of numbers kind of screaming out at you, but these are all the times organized, and as you can see, a lot of the years, they're all fluctuated, so it really depended on the year how fast the times were. And I'll get into some variables on why that was the case later on. But right here we have a box and whisker. I had to transpose the time into seconds to get the box and whisker to work. So although you see 1,000 seconds, it's pretty close together with only one outlier on the far side. You have a mean of 1701.07, so it's not under 17 yet, even though it's been trending that way more in recent years. The mode is 17 along with the median, so all three of those numbers are very close together, kind of showing how close these numbers are and how little they've differentiated over the years. It's a range of 1 minute and 6 seconds, so also very close in terms of cross country, like dropped in a minute. At this range is a lot, but overall, over 30 years is not that great of a number. The minimum value was a 1633 that was run last year, and then the maximum was a 1740, which was the major outlier we saw on the right side. The quartile 1 being at 1651, and the quartile 2 being at 1713. All right, here we have our stem and leaf plot. As you can see, a lot of the 16s, they've been run more recently, so they'll have maybe 2 digits behind it. Back in the 90s and 80s, they would just say the numbers would be 1713, so you kind of notice that. It's been getting more specific in recent years. Along with that, you see that they're very evenly split between the two, but still a trend towards 16-minute times. This is a runner finishing at state. A little story involving this was Isaac Bohati, who was a runner a few years back, took 9th at state, which top 10 is podium, so him by taking 9th was on podium, but he was 4th until probably the last 200, where he was in a large group, but he unfortunately got passed, so it shows the difficulty of competing at state and making podium. This is the state podium, so I mean there's 160 plus runners in this race, so making top 10 out of the best athletes across the entire state is no small feat. Finally, conclusions. The first time the 10th spot was under 17 was in 2001 when I did some research. This is when private schools were allowed to join the WIA for the first time. So that was the year actually McDonald won state for cross country, which is pretty cool. The times have been... Can you go back real quick? This is fidgety. Okay. The times have been steadily improving, with the fastest 10th place time coming last year. There's only one outlier on the right side that's about 18 seconds further out than the second slowest time. There are variables that couldn't be accounted for, such as course conditions and weather, but overall it is becoming more and more difficult to finish in the top 10 at state. So like you can't like account for if the course is muddy or like if it's cold. If it's really warm, usually at the end of the year, it tends to be cold. And the conclusions I made about myself is to make podium this season, I would likely have to run a 45-second PR on the hardest course we run all season, which is asking a lot. And this makes my chances of a podium finish statistically improbable, but not impossible. Thank you.